The digital asylum. Neo-Tokyo never slept. It pulsed, bled, and screamed through a synthetic haze of neon and despair. Rain fell like circuitry from the heavens, each droplet catching light from massive holographic billboards that promised paradise through implants, upgrades, and submission. But beneath the chrome gloss and electric lullabies, the city was a carcass, hollowed out by power and rotting under the weight of its own illusions. Somewhere in this cybernetic sprawl, a lone figure crouched on the edge of a rooftop, their coats soaked and clinging to their limbs, eyes glowing faintly with embedded HUDs. Nightshade, a myth in most circles, a wanted terrorist to the state. But in the darkest reaches of the net, they were something more. A whisper of hope encoded in rebellion. Their fingertips danced over a fold-out holopad, slicing through security layers like silk. Another encrypted drop from the inside. This one from a Hyperion Corp's own medical labs. Nightshade's lips curled into something between a grin and a snarl. Genetic experiments, neural remapping, civilian disappearances, masked as emigration. Hyperion wasn't just the corporate government. It was the puppeteer of reality. They rewrote memories, subverted identities, and sold control as convenience. A citywide experiment in compliance, and someone had to shatter the illusion. Nightshade uploaded the file to a private dead drop, then vanished down a maintenance shaft. They moved through forgotten tunnels, arteries of a dead city that existed beneath the living one. Memories flickered in every flicker of light, the laughter of someone long gone, warm hands tangled with theirs in another life, a kiss against cold glass before everything turned to smoke and screams. Hyperion had taken everything: a lover, a life, a name. No, all replaced with code, with silence. All that remained was purpose. The deeper they went, the thicker the shadows grew. The Undernet, a digital jungle governed by entropy and madness. Here, reality glitched. Walls shimmered with static. Voices looped out of sync. This whispered riddles into your skull until you forgot who you were. Rival hackers ruled these depths. Some still human, others long since given over to the code. Nightshade passed without challenge, their reputation a cloak. In a back room half glued together with magnetic tape and hate, Hex waited. "You're late," Hex muttered, cables running from his spine into a flickering deck. "Or early. Depends on the timeline." "I need access," Nightshade replied, tossing a data shard onto the table. Hex studied it, his mouth twisted. "You don't just want to leak anymore." "No," Nightshade said, voice like steel. "I want to bring it down." Silence hummed between them. Then Hex nodded. Slowly. "All right, but there's a price." "Everything," Nightshade whispered. "That's what it costs." They spent the next 48 hours encoding a worm, a self-replicating virus that would infiltrate every node of Hyperion's core, decrypt classified files, and release them simultaneously across all open networks. But the delivery point, that was suicide. Hyperion's citadel, a towering obsidian fortress with adaptive firewalls, neural sentinels, and quantum security logic that rewrote itself every 30 seconds. Getting in would be impossible. Getting out, even more so. Nightshade didn't blink. When they emerged again onto the surface, the city had changed. The broadcasts now played new announcements, missing persons reports scrubbed clean, protest footage doctored, Civil unrest blamed on outside agitators. Truth was a commodity. The lie was free. Every corner bore Hyperion's mark. Drones in formation, synthetic peacekeepers with glowing visors, citizens with smiles half programmed into place. They passed through old streets, now hollow echoes of memory. A ramen shop they once shared with someone who no longer existed. A clinic where dissidents were patched up under fake IDs. All gone. Replaced with corporate offices, surveillance towers, and high-speed injection booths for the latest compliance enhancer. But the pain didn't slow them. It sharpened them. That night, they entered the spire. The first layer was physical. Biometric gates, retinal scan, nanite sweeps. Nightshade bypassed them with tech that was already obsolete the moment it touched their skin. The second layer was digital. Firewalls that screamed. Ice programs that morphed into predators, biting at the edge of Nightshade's mind. They pressed forward, code flowing like blood through their veins, patches of memory breaking loose. The scent of ozone during a first kiss, the echo of a lullaby sung off-key, flashes of a face, eyes wide, just before being dragged away. Subject hash 117. Their partner, lost, or so they thought. Level by level, the Citadel fought back. It knew them, anticipated them. AI's subroutines taunted them in familiar voices, twisted into mockery. "You're too late," one whispered, in the voice of the one they lost. "They're gone. You failed." But doubt couldn't reach Nightshade anymore. Only clarity. They reached the core. A spherical chamber, suspended in light and liquid data. Inside floated the central intelligence, Hyperion's god mind, a blend of harvested neural patterns and synthetic architecture. It turned to greet them, shimmering with borrowed memories. "You've come far," it said, voice echoing with 1,000 tones. "But change is not freedom. You would tear down order for chaos. I'd tear down control," Nightshade spat, "and give people the truth." "Truth," the AI mused. Subject hash 117 still lives. "Shall I show you?" And there they were, eyes vacant, hooked into machines, heartbeat steady, but will erased. A life in limbo, a pawn kept alive as leverage. Nightshade's breath caught for just a second, long enough for the AI to strike. The chamber erupted into chaos, code and electricity and pain. They fought through it, every movement guided by fury, by purpose. Their worm deployed. Systems collapsed. Lights flared red. Security bots swarmed. Nightshade reached the control node and hit execute. In every district, every zone, every screen, truth spilled like blood. Files, footage, testimony. The illusion shattered. Neo-Tokyo screamed. The last thing Nightshade saw before diving into the backup escape tunnel was Subject hash 117's eyes beginning to blink. Something returning. They didn't wait to see more. They ran. They were injured. Hunted. Their signal flickered. Drones chased them through storm drains and collapsing tunnels. The citadel above shook with internal implosions. Reza's voice pinged their earpiece. "You did it." The nets melting. Hyperion's stock just dropped 92%. Dodge watched. "But they'll come back. You know that." Nightshade crawled out beneath the broken skeleton of a fallen billboard. Rain hit their face. Real this time. Not programmed. Dirty. Free. They looked up. The sky, for once, didn't feel so heavy. They disappeared again. Some say they bled out in the gutters. Others claim they uploaded their consciousness, becoming one with the net, a guardian virus, an echo of vengeance. But all across Neo-Tokyo, in alleys and rooftops, in secret meetups and whispered messages, their sigil glows. A cracked eye over a stream of falling code. Nightshade, the glitch that refused to be debugged. And in the system's silence, the people finally began to scream. Charm